All right, welcome everybody. How's it going? This is Comic Book Radio. I'm your host, Peter Cimetti, and this is episode 159. My guest tonight is Richard EMBREE. He's going to be talking about character development, design, and inspiration with me. Before we bring him on, I want to say hello to those of you in the chat. Thank you guys for being here. We got Frederick. What's up, Frederick? Looking forward to the topic? I'm glad. Thank you for being here. Tevin is in the house as well. What's up, Tevin? Andy Gogo's here too. What's up, Andy Gogo? Forest Pub, that's Richard. He's in the chat and on the panel tonight. Look at him, he gets around. We got Ronan here. What's up, Mike Smith? Hope you're doing well. Ara Galenian in the house too. How's it going, Ara? Hope you're doing good. Hex Allen is here too. Let's take the hit, Rocco. Michael, what's up, Michael? Hope you're doing well. Yan Zhao is here too tonight. How's it going, Yan Zhao? All right, let's see. I got to say one thing before we begin. Now, the Alterna Comics campaign, it's new. It's got 4 new comics on there. It's got 20 days left. If you haven't checked it out yet, alternacomics.com/funding. It's on both Alterna's site, which is that, and also on Indiegogo. So back where you prefer. You can either back on the Alterna site or you can back on Indiegogo. But check them out. Back on at least one. There's a lot of good stuff there. 4 new comics for $9. Where else you gonna get that? Nowhere else. Nowhere else. That's where. 4 new comics, great new comics. Blood Realm number 14, Horus H. Hoover number 3, and Unit 44 number 9 and 10. We also got a load of back issues on both of them. The Indiegogo, the first ever time we're doing this, a very extensive and comprehensive list of back issues on there, even issues that are not correlating to the new releases on this campaign. So check it out. Over 150 add-ons, something like that. It's a lot, yes, but there's a lot of good stuff that you might want to check out and get. All right, so without further ado, let's bring him on, the man of the hour. What is up, Richard? How's it going?
What's going on, Pete? What's going on, man? Did I hear that right? 5 comics for $9?
4 comics for
comics.
$9.
I thought I had a good deal. I was like, 1 comic, $5. You got 4 comics for not even double that price, $9. Man,
Yeah.
I'm trying. You're a master in this indie game, Pete. I'm trying to get to your level.
If you say
man.
so, your words, not mine.
Nah, not just mine. It gets repeated. It just doesn't get repeated loud enough. So.
Well, you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes a truth.
And the proof is in the price. 4 comics, $9, man. That's
yeah,
good,
I mean, yeah, they're great comics, and that's the thing is we try to keep them as affordable as possible, and people appreciate it, which is awesome, and they're able to try out a title that maybe they couldn't try out before or wouldn't have thought about, but instead they're like, yeah, you know what, why not? Give it a shot. And they end up liking them. And then they end up trying out more, and then they end up liking the characters that are there, and then maybe check out the merch we've got. We've got always great stuff on this campaign, too. We've got art commissions and whatnot. It's good stuff. So I do hope people continue to check it out and give it their support.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
But what are you up to, Richard?
Man, today is a celebration, Pete. I'm telling you this. The book came in, the physical proof.
Oh, very nice. Let me put you full screen.
Blood in the Sword, you know. I'm happy with it, Pete. I'm really happy with it.
Good.
Pages came out, colors came out nice.
Nice.
Vibrant, you know.
Yeah, look at that.
I'm happy. Good. I'm happy, like, because man, for an indie guy, man, I can't make, and you could probably relate to this. We can't make mistakes, really, man. That's a lot of money. That's a You know, because I'm printing a big order, man, like 3,000. You know, that's how I got the price so cheap. I'm gonna print 3,000.
Wow.
And that's but you know, here's the thing.
That's quite the print run.
Yeah. Now you're scaring me, Pete, because that's coming from you. You're like, wait a minute. But here's the thing. I know the number one is gonna be probably the seller, right? So the number 2, I'm not going to print that much, but at least with the number 1, I could, the next, I want to say maybe year and a half, I hope, 2 years, I could do conventions. And now, because that was the point, I was like, if I'm going to do this YouTube thing, because now the YouTube thing has to be a thing, right? So if I'm going to do this YouTube thing, I need a product, and I need a product that's easy and easy on the wallet. So the $5 comic, entry level, get you in, Blood and the Sword. You like it, you don't? Oh, well, hey, thank you for subscribing to the channel. And then it also gives me stuff at, inventory for conventions and stuff and signings, and I can go anywhere. I can sit outside a gas station and just pop the trunk, go like 80s hip hop, Too Short style. You
can, but will you?
I will, man. I'm bored, Pete. I live in a small town, Pete. I got to get out. It's an excuse to get out.
You could write comic books and then put the M and the I backwards like a little kid, and then when they're backwards, they're the same. Forwards and backwards.
Well, you know what I can do? I just thought of a strategy. My wife likes to do this couponing thing. So I drop her off. I said, honey, I'm going to take 2 hours. Leave the kids at your mom's house, take 2 hours, and then go somewhere. And it's an excuse to go. Yeah, like, where do you want to go? I want to go to Tombstone, Arizona, because and I just, post up there, I see it, man. I live on the border of Arizona, so these people are always selling. It's a hustle.
You know what I haven't tried, but you could try it. You could try bartering with your comics. Maybe you could get that gasoline for 2 comics, 3 comics,
Yeah.
Convince them, maybe, be like, I'll sign it. These are first printings. You have gold in your hands, sir.
That's funny. Next, I'll stand next to the people selling firewood. I'll be like, I got these comics. Well, we need something to start the fire, like, oh, my babies.
Look at that. Business relationships being formed.
But here's what I say about that. If they burn them, the actual people that read them, now those become more valuable because they took like 4 of them out.
Exactly.
So like, see? I'm actually doing my customers a favor.
Now you're thinking.
Yeah, now we're cooking, Pete.
Yeah.
This could work.
Literally.
Comics provided this meal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if they can't provide the meal, sometime they can be the meal.
It could be.
You never know.
Yeah, you might be hungry like 15 minutes later, but,
High in fiber.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. All right. So now that I've made it thoroughly awkward for you.
Oh, never. Nah, this is actually a normal stream. Have you seen what I do, Pete?
No, I don't know if I want to.
Don't.
The way that tone of voice.
Wait. I'm not as bad as some. Like, all right, I'm not the Saska sisters, but I keep it pretty moderate, man. I keep it pretty moderate.
Okay.
I told my wife I'm gonna go on Pete's channel and I'm gonna have my manners and my best behavior. So
good.
I'm
because we run a family-friendly show here.
Yes.
If you're gonna border outside of that, you got to use a clever innuendo.
Yes, sir.
Make them work for it. Don't be direct and vulgar.
That's crass. I need you to think like it was the '60s.
Yes,
rock.
Exactly.
That's right.
All right. Now, getting into what you're doing here, is your series? Is this an ongoing series or is it a mini series? What is it?
It's gonna be ongoing. When I originally wrote it, it was just man, I don't know if you know the story. Like, I had a campaign that did well and a campaign that failed. And with the failed campaign, I'm like, okay, what did I do wrong? What can I do wrong? And I'm thinking about it. And I'm playing this game called Conan. And my daughter's next to me. And, she sees me killing this alligator. My daughter is like 5 at the time. She's like, don't kill the alligator. Don't kill the alligator. It's my friend. It's my friend. She loves every animal, whether it's digital or real. And I said, look, it's not your friend. You don't even know its name. And she's like, yes, his name is Mango. And then just the creative sparks popped. I saw like me playing at Skyrim with a Mango-like humanoid, alligator humanoid person that's called Mango. And he has that's not his real name, but that's just his name, that what people call him, and this whole mysterious background to him. And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna write this. And it was supposed to be a one-shot, to be honest. But then as I'm writing it, I'm really liking the characters, and I really, because what I wanted to do was a Western and have it really be character driven. But I'm like, the stuff I wanted to do with the Western, with these characters, I can actually do with this fantasy book. And so that's where it's like, I'm gonna make this an ongoing, So even though like this is a complete story, it's 20 pages that people are buying, but I left room to where it's like there's the primary story and subplots, or the main plot and subplots, and so yeah, I'm gonna, people have been asking me, what is this? It's an ongoing series as long as I have money, bro. I'm like the Robert Kirkman approach. I'm just, make comics or die trying.
So you have the story set up. I'm guessing that. What's your, I won't guess. What's your storytelling style for the ongoing? Because some people go like a soap opera kind of thing, and it's a big continuation. Some people do like what I'm doing, where it's kind of more episodic, and there's a continuity, and they all connect, but every issue is a complete story. What's your approach?
That would probably be it. It's we get further along in the main plot, but there's some payoff. Like I always say, like readers need some payoff for reading the book. They need to have some reward. There needs to be some kind of completion. So that's where a subplot would come in. But the main plot it keeps going, as far as what I want to do with it. And this one's really just, if anything, it's more like a pilot episode to get you to introduce you to the characters, introduce you to like, what we're talking with character development as motive. Like, the motives, how these people operate in the world, their vulnerability, whether they're courageous or not, and, it's getting to know them more. And it's like an onion. You peel more, you peel more, you peel more. But I feel like with readers, I want them to focus on the things that are really important right away. And then once you get that, you got to buy into that. If I can't sell you on that, or you don't buy into that, it doesn't matter if I have a map and no different languages. That doesn't matter. I got to get you to like this character right away. And here's the way I think of it too is there's a lot of competition for entertainment, man. So I got to get you to like these characters right away and make sure that I keep you along for the story. So,
how do you do something like that? Well, how do you go about that?
With me, it's man. I think to like real life experiences, right? Like who did I see that was likable? Who did I like right away? Why did I like them right away? What did they do? What kind of emotions do they evoke? Not just with me, with other people. Because you can see other people like, wow, how is that guy so likable? I'm funnier than that guy. But there's a certain thing that he does. And here's the thing too, man. Some people just have the it factor. And like, how do you write that? It's just, like I compared my one of my characters, Valen. He's not the alligator person, but the other person. He's another main character. I compare him to these guys that win all the time, like the John Jones of the world. They're cocky, but they win. They back it up. The Mayweathers of the world, they're cocky, but they back it up every time. Like they don't lose. These guys don't lose. And behind that, when you look into these guys, there's this fierce competitor, this fierce dedication, this fierce prep. You only see the cream of the crop. You only see what they want, but there's the late night runs, the this, the that. Like I remember seeing like Mayweather. He's like, yeah, you guys eat fried chicken, but I'm going to eat this fried chicken and I'm going to run 5 miles. And all the calories are already burnt, and it's like, yeah, I want chicken, but I don't want to run 5 miles after it. That man's on a different level, but that's where he's always.
What you gotta do is you run 2.5 to get it, and then you run 2.5 back, and you're at least accomplishing something.
Man, if you see me running with chicken in my hand, Pete, call the police because something bad's happening.
Someone's gonna, if I'm not.
I hope so.
What a sight.
Yeah. Hey, I just saw this guy with
That's
the $5
why people
comic.
have to put on a whole outfit, when they go out and they run. Because if you just see someone running in normal clothes, you're like, oh my God, what's happening?
Like,
but if they're in their, jogging outfit or whatever it may be, you're like, oh, they're just going for a run.
The guy had a stack of comics and a bucket of chicken. He's just running. He's like, so. But yeah, it's, so going back to like the character development is like, how to get you to buy in. I got to make them likable. I got to make them do something. With Blood and the Sword, it's you like the first 5 pages. It's this guy Valen is there. This employee of the king, goes by, and like he's representing authority. He walking by, and he gets out of the way, but he's like, hey man, when I say get out of the way, I mean like, out of my sight. Like he's doing too much. Like you didn't have to do that. And even Valen asked him in the dialogue, man, like you were able to pass. Why are you coming back? Like why are you making a little thing? And then that ends up to them like, well, I'm not gonna back down. How about that? And it's just that was my the buy-in. It's like you see this guy and they're outnumbered, and he's like, I don't care. You can bring 2 more, bring 5 more. Let's go. And then that was one of the buy-ins, and the other buy-in was their banter between these guys. These guys are bros. They're just breaking their balls on the road, doing mercenary work, And but even with that, like with Mango, like I said this on other shows, like he doesn't see himself as a mercenary. He sees himself as someone that's correcting wrongs in the world. So someone comes up to him and it's like, hey, they did me wrong. I need you to make it right. Okay, I'll do you to make it right for a price. And that's how he sees it, as honor and restoring balance. Where as Valen is just like, man, I'm out to get this coin, man. Like, what is it? Like, who is it? Anyone can get it for the right price. Like, so.
Yeah, he's more out for himself.
Yeah. So, and that's where there's balance. They bring balance to each other. And Valen has this, like, internally, like as I'm writing it, I say Valen has this balance to where he sticks with Mango because he knows Mango won't let him get too far, too crazy and do too much stuff that he would probably regret later in life, And Mango sees himself as, like creating balance. Like, hey, I'm here, almost like in a slight codependency way. Like, hey, man, I'm here, and hey, what's going on? I'm here, and this guy is honorable, and I see the good in him. And if I could just be around him and bring him around good stuff and see the rewards of honor, he will want to be honorable too. Because Mango sees the good in him, the good in the person. So they have that dynamic. And I thought of that, like, as I'm writing it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is why. Because why wouldn't Valen just sell him out?
So it sounds like you've just established a lot of backstory before the story begins. So you are aware of where these characters are coming from,
motives,
and where they're going.
Yeah. And whether they subconsciously know it or not, I know it, so I can let it play out. And that's where the reader, like, so if I try to do all that in like the first 20 pages, it's not going to work. But if I give you that, and then peel it back like an onion, you're like, oh, wow. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. I see it, and that's where it becomes enjoyable because with, like, I know these characters. Like, you picking up the book, whoever picks up the book, they're going to pick it up and they don't know these characters. So I need to introduce them somewhat slowly, but at the same time, cleverly, and get them to buy in.
Now, as far as when you're crafting villains, how do you go about that?
Crafting villains.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who said it, but a villain is just someone with misguided either trust or information or misguided beliefs, Like, I'll give you an example. You go to like a gangbanger in the street, right? And you're like, oh man, that guy is selling drugs and he's willing to kill anyone. And yeah, from that perspective that you're at, that is true. In a pro-social environment, that is also true. In a legal system, that is also true. But that person, and I'm not saying they're a villain, but I'm saying how they see themselves is like, listen, I don't want to sell these drugs, but this is the only way I can provide for my people. And by my people, my kids, I could give diapers and this and that, and this and that, whatever. Now, are all of them doing that? No, but they see themselves as that sometimes. And the whole thing of even gang violence, it's protecting my neighborhood. I'm protecting my friends. I'm protecting this. It's an area that we protect. So they see themselves as protectors, right? So I kind of leaked that into villains. These villains, it's distorted thinking. There's some kind of distorted thinking. Like I have Bailey in there, right? And Bailey, He's the one that gets into it with Valiant, but his distorted thinking is like, I deserve more. I deserve this. I'm entitled. I have skill. I did this, but he hasn't earned it. It's like these cats that get on, but they haven't paid dues. But they feel that you're in my spot and I need to be there, and so is he a villain? You know, you could say yes, or it's like, is he a villain in the story? Yeah, but you can still understand him. And it's just what I feel creates villains is, okay, they have this distorted belief, and then you mix that with desperation. Then you increase that with greed. Then you say, hey, you can be what your goal is right there. You just gotta turn up the notch. You're just too nice. You gotta go in harder, and then it's like, that's when like you see these funny videos of like, this is when the villain was created. Yeah. Where they're like, hey, I'm bad, or I'm not taking enough risk. I need to really go out there and get it, and that's where, but in their mind, there's a certain motive, a certain something they're trying to accomplish, whatever that is. Because we all have certain, I feel like as humans, we all have certain desires and certain needs that need to get met. Like me, like I needed to get a story out. Like, I don't know if it's in the DNA or whatever, but I need to be creating something. I need to be writing something. I needed to get this done,
Has this always been a part of who you are? Is this your first comic? Do you have other comics?
No, I have other comics before, which is crazy because, Pete, you're such a hero to me, bro. Because I remember I did this comic called The Port, right? And I know you're going to deny the hero thing, but, but I had this, and I sent it to you. And all the people was like, hey, man, I sent this comic. And you were like, hey, man, it looks stretched. I'm like, how did Pete know? Because I didn't know what I was doing, bro. I just got an artist to draw it. I put it on this thing. I didn't know anything about bleed or, the pre-press. I had to go to my friend Paul, who's a, graphic designer, very, very accomplished one, too. And he kind of, does it for me now because he's like, it's just too hard to explain to you, So, but, man, even back then, like, you was always giving people advice and guiding them correctly. So I was like, man, Pete's the dude. But yeah, so I've had comics before. What ended up happening is I had comics and then I had kids. So the comics got put on hold. The kids got got that back in financial. It's a weird financial thing where it's like, okay, I got that. And then I had a job and now I have a career and things got a little bit better financially. And, I was sitting around like, I'm like, like I failed that comic. The comic I failed was The Devil from Talon Flats. It was a Western. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to take a little break. Maybe comics, but every time I make money, Pete, it was like, oh, I can buy an artist. Oh, I can buy this. Oh, I can buy that. Oh, that's good. I'm at the crap tables, man. I'm up like $3,000. And I'm like, oh, I could some of the money actually went into the Blood and Sword, I'm like, what am I doing here? This is my comic book money. I can pay Brian and get this shit on the stuff on the road, and I'm like, oh. So yeah, it's always been in my DNA. It's like something creative, something creative,
Now, are you the artist on the book too?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, I can't draw a straight line with the ruler. I have my artist is Brian Brindley. He's out of Texas, cool dude. And then my colorist is Brian McGay out of the Philippines. And then I got Vince Moore doing the editing, and Carlos. Oh, I forgot his last name, but it's in the credits. Carlos is taking care of me with the letters, man. Awesome people. I'm so humbled and blessed to be and grateful to be working with these people because they really came in with passion and they really made the comic look good. Like I was talking about another podcast, vision, and I had a certain vision, and these guys like had the same vision as me, and they kept true to the vision.
It's great when you can find that. Nothing like it.
Yeah, it's
good. It's very rare.
So it's like you keep them happy, you keep them happy, you keep them everything good, everything. And I'm one of these guys that I'm a writer. And I have such respect for artists. I just let them work. This is what I absolutely need for the story. Now, it's a collab. do what you need to do, man. I hired you. I know I believe in you. Now do what you need to do. And when you do that and you get out of the way and they got a decent script, because you and your editor put in the work and make sure that they have a decent script, good stuff happens. So
Now, how in depth do you go in terms of character design description for the artists? Do you draw anything out? Do you write it all out to a T? Do you let them kind of wing it? How do you do that?
like what I say is like with your style, so hey, I wanted to look like this, but like this, but like this, but with your style, so it's like I'll give them pictures from I'll Google pictures, Google pictures. Hey, I like it like this, but something like this, a little light armor, but your style, like with Mango, I was like leather armor, this is what I'm kind of looking for. I gave him a couple of examples, and then I just and then they'll come with a sketch, and then okay, that works. Or they'll come with like 3 different ones. I'm like, the one in the middle, but the one on the right, take that, and I think that we're done, we're good, and that's it. I don't try to make them work harder than they need to.
Crack that whip.
Well, that's crack that credit card, bro. It's like, okay, yeah, go ahead. It's that's 2 revisions, man. Like, what else? And again, it's not taking advantage of people, man. Making them happy, making them feel appreciated. Like you and they're like, no charge. It's it's a revision. I'll still shoot them something. Hey, man, thank you, man. Thank you for
whenever
getting that done.
This might sound odd to some people, but whenever there's artists that I meet that are like, every revision there's a charge, I'm like, good day to you, sir or ma'am.
Yeah.
Because what happens, and I dealt with it once, I was like, oh, well, yeah, it makes sense. You're going in there and you don't want someone to be nitpicky about every single thing. But I was like, I looked at dealing with this one individual years ago, and I was like, this is crap. I'm thinking, this is horrible.
Yeah.
This is not up to the same quality of the samples that you sent. And I'm like, this is why you charge for every revision, don't you? And I was like, we're not working together anymore.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's the hustle. Hustle.
So, but artists and I've been blessed with a lot of artists lately, especially on King Cryptid, where revisions aren't aplenty. But they go in there and they're like, what do you think? I got to tweak this, tweak that. Is it okay with you? What do I got to do? I'm down for it. And that is the attitude, because everything is about making the best possible book.
Yeah.
It's not about serving the ego. It's not about, well, listen, buddy, this is my art and, you're just the guy paying for it and you got to pay for every single little thing. Man, that attitude is the tip of the iceberg for horrible things to come.
Yeah. Well, when I mess up, I pay, because is everything good? Are we good to go to inks? And I'm like, yeah, it's good. Because I get it's like Christmas. I'm like, oh my God, the story's coming to life. I'm like in love with it, right? And I'm like, oh man, this is art, because I can't draw for nothing, and then I'll notice something like, because the spirit of the page looks great, but then the rest of it, I'm like, it'll be something tied to the story that I really need changed. And I'm like, you know what? I messed up. I did tell you that you put inks on it, but can we clean this up? And here's extra, to clean it up. Like when it's my bad, I'll take accountability. But like I said, Brian's he's so cool, man. He's like, all right, like let's rock, let's get it done. I don't even think he knows how people are receiving it. It's getting a lot of from the people I let read it, man. It's been getting a lot of good reviews, man. So
now how'd you go about finding your creative team?
Oh man, so I found Brian a while ago on Pencil Jack. Brian was the artist on The Last Goodbye. I did that I want to say over 5 years ago, maybe even 7 years ago or something. So when I failed that other comic book, I was just like, Brian came through. I'm gonna go back to Brian. It was like it was like that scene from Rocky, man, where it's like, hey man, Apollo trained me, let's go back to the gym. Let's go back, because prior to the coming on Twitter or Comicsgate, I was making comics and going to conventions, and selling them for $5, right? So I'm like, how did I make that happen? What did I do? And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go with Brian. I worked with the other Brian in the Philippines, the colorist. So it's like he comes through, and he's always polite to work with too, man. Like if I find polite people, I wanna spend money on you, you know. And so I was like, I'm gonna go to them, and we're gonna go with a 20 pager, something I can afford out of pocket, and I know it's gonna get done. And it ended up getting done. So like that was I worked with Brian before, and I know we finished products together, you know, or comics together. You know, he was there to finish it, you know, and yeah, so I was just like, you know, let me go to the trusted and proven, you know, comic book artist that I worked with, and you know, and he loves drawing fantasy, and I asked him, like the last goodbye was like a modern noir comic, like crime / noir, and I just always see him drawing fantasy. I was like, man, if I can get this artist to draw
Like for
fantasy.
fun, he draws fantasy a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, this is what he likes doing. And I kind of knew that before, but I was like, oh, this is the comic I already have, but this is the idea. But now it's like, you know what? Like everything was coming together. Like it was a fantasy comic that my daughter like kind of like encouraged, and then he's drawing fantasy, and then it just made sense. You know, everything lined up, man. So it's like when it all lines up, take the shot, you know.
Yeah, well, it's more difficult, I think, than people realize in terms of that, to line up a creative team. I think that's why there's a lot of people, too, that will take on so much on their own and try to do as much of the book as possible, sometimes the entire book. But in terms of juggling different aspects of, you know, you got your artist, you got your letterer, you got an editor that's hopefully also helping to keep things in line and keep everybody on there honest in terms of not taking too many shortcuts, or any, if can be possible.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have who's handling your pre-press on the team in terms of getting the book formatted and put together for print?
That's like my graphic guy, Paul. You know, Paul went to school. He's done some big stuff. You know, like industry stuff. You know, won contests and all that. So this is like. He's pulling in a favor. Like he's just like, yeah, just throw me some money, whatever. You know, he's good. You know, like he knows how to do all the pre-press stuff. You know, so
Yeah, 'cause that's an important and sometimes often
vital.
overlooked aspect. Yeah.
Yeah. If I didn't have Paul, I'd probably really have to come out the pocket, probably like $400. You know what I mean, or something, 300, 400, until I get a relationship with someone. And maybe they're like, you're cool, man. I can knock it out for like $250 or something. But, you know, I think that's the asking, you know. Because, like seeing what Paul charges people that don't know him, that didn't go to high school with them, you know. And, yeah, so I'm just, okay, cool.
He gives you the old high school discount.
He shouldn't, too, because he was a Reggie Miller fan. And he's like, you got Reggie Miller cards? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'll trade you my Jordan for Reggie Miller cards. I'm like, Paul, you sure you want to do that? I was like, because I'm only going to ask you this once, bro. And then I'm bringing my Reggie Miller cards, and we're doing this, bro. You know? And he's like, yeah. You know, so I'm like, cool, man. I don't know, man. I grew up in Garden Grove, bro. Like, Asian dudes, Paul's the Asian dude, man. They all had, like, a weird basketball hero growing up. Like, my other friend.
It's got to be
Kevin.
a height thing.
Yeah, he was like, Karl Malone, he's the best. Him and Stockton, they're going to bring it. I'm just like, wait, Paul just said he likes Reggie Miller. You like Karl Malone? Yeah, the mailman. He delivers. Like, oh, you guys, man, all right. You know.
That was a fun time in basketball.
Yeah.
I was into basketball up until that point. I think once Jordan
Everyone.
retired, I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
The whole era of it seemed to just
Oh, it was great.
be gone after
NBA on NBC on the weekends.
Yeah.
The Knicks, you know, like
Knicks versus Bulls was great. You get
man.
Ewing and Starks and
yeah.
that whole team up against Pippen and Jordan. Remember
Yeah.
B.J. Armstrong shooting threes, little
Yep.
B.J. Armstrong.
Yeah. Grandma Ma, the commercials were crazy. It was fun, man. it was fun. And then that we got the dream team, and that was it. Like, you know, like it was a wrap after that. I didn't really follow basketball after that. Well, Shaq came in, and then you had the Weber, the Shaq, the Iverson era, and then that was kind of like I was done. I was doing other things at the time. Yeah, but it was fun, man. I was a kid collecting cards and stuff.
Yeah. Love those cards.
Mm-hmm.
Big time into all the sports cards at that point in time. Trading cards were everywhere though, for everything, man. Speaking of which, do you have any trading cards on your campaign or planning anything for your characters?
With this campaign, I was just like, listen, my whole goal was readers. I gotta get readers. I don't care. Like, because with the last goodbye, I was doing stickers and this and that, and it just gave me a headache, man. I was like, listen, stickers don't matter if the people don't show up to read it. Like, you know, and I just really had like a disciplined approach to it. Like, I don't care nothing but the comic, and this is going to be the comic, you know. Now with the second campaign, I get readers and people excited about it and a bigger buzz about it. Yeah, I want to do trading cards. I got a conversation with the guy. Man, I know I'm trying to figure. His name just slipped, but let me look. Where is he? DM Blackwell, right? And he had his own system for tabletop, you know. And I was like, I would love to get official character sheets for your game. And you know, he's coming on my channel Friday. We're gonna talk about that. So I want to do stuff like that. I just want to have fun with the characters, you know. Like eventually, man, if you're like 5-year goal, I want a Mango plushie. You know what I mean? Like, that's 5 years. That's like maybe when the trade comes out. You know, we already paid for like, 4 issues of artwork, and we bring out the trade. It's like, okay, we're just paying for the printing, and more stuff. But yeah, I would love to do that, you know. But it was it was on a budget because I'm offering it for such a affordable price, you know, $5. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's perfectly understandable. I think especially for something that's starting off, you know, right off the bat, it's good to focus more on the comic, especially if you're not necessarily aware of, you really got to know what are people going to gravitate towards. Otherwise, it's going to turn into you're potentially putting a lot of stuff out there and really muddying the waters on what to focus on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I love putting up together all kinds of different merch for King Cryptid and whatnot, and even coming up with, I can only do so much with the alternate books because it's creator owned. But for my own, I love putting together all that stuff and really trying to find an immersive way to make it a part of the book. So you're learning more. It's not just like a trading card where there's an image on the front and nothing on the back, really. You know, you got to put information in there, put a bio, put maybe some stats about the characters, all different kinds of things that make it like you're learning something too, and it's part of the fun. I've seen too many trading cards that it's a nice image on the front. You turn over the back, and it's just like a logo for the book or something.
Yeah, I got to give it that feel, that nostalgia feel. It has to feel like that. Oh, you know what? I did lie, Pete. I have shirts. So I own a shirt printing company. Not company, but shirt printing equipment.
Oh, very nice.
So direct to film. I was like, okay, this is good, you know. So because I was like, okay, I just need to print on the sheet, limited colors, and I could keep print costs down, you know. With the last goodbye campaign, I sold shirts. My friend owns a shirt company, and I'm telling you, man, that first campaign I completed it, but a lot of things went wrong too, you know. One of the things went wrong was during COVID. The owner got COVID. His employee got COVID. His employee actually passed away, you know. So man. It was like, man, dude, it's, you know, I'm grieving for that dude. I knew that dude too, man. He was a really nice person, you know. So it's like, but then I'm like the campaign. I was like, you know, like, hey, you know, hey, what's up with them shirts, you know? And when is the doctor gonna let you out, man? Like, so his brother took over, and his brother did a solid job, but then it was the wrong design, so I had to just go out and buy it myself, you know. And I was just like, how can I get myself out of this predicament? and it makes sense. It made sense for the investment to do that. So not only can I do my shirts, I can do other indie artists shirts as well.
Very nice.
Yeah, man. I even printed this, man. It's a one-off of my favorite character, Punisher. So
Yeah. Wow.
I just ratted myself out. They're like, "Oh man, get him!" Jerry Conway's on the phone with Marvel. Get him! We saw him on. We saw him on Pete. Get him!
You never know.
Yeah. If the feds show up, Pete, I know who snitched me out.
You go, I make ones that are like this. I don't
Yeah.
know where some dude threw this at me. I was walking along, and
Yeah.
they're like,
Allegedly,
"You look like you
I
like
printed
this."
Look at all these
character.
colors. Allegedly,
Yeah. You
So I
can't
made
go
a
back
mango
now.
shirt.
It's on video.
So I made a mango shirt. I think that's gonna be the breakout character until people know the other characters, because he just has the distinctive look, and then maybe once they know Valen or they know Amura, they'll want to wear their gear too.
Yeah, that's very cool. So, what are your plans moving forward in regards to this series, and then also at large in terms of what else you're doing?
To the series, man, I got issue 2 pretty much already written. I just got to hand it to Vince. I talked to Brian today, and I'm like, "Yo, man, clear the schedule. Mid-March, we're looking to go back into drawing some pages for issue 2." Yeah, man. That's my printing the big order this weekend. And when that comes, hopefully, I think it'll probably be a week, man. Just sending them out. Blah, 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 I got the money for it. I got the money for shipping. I just need to print out the shirts and ship them. I got the supplies. I was waiting for the proofs to come in, because I was like, with the last goodbye, it was a little bit thicker, So it's not focusing. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, but with the last goodbye, it was a little bit. Here we go. Yeah, it was a little bit thicker. So I bought modern bags and boards and ready to ship, and they didn't have they weren't fitting. It was crazy. So because I thicker stock and all that, thicker book. It was 32 pages. So I wanted to make sure that these fit, and yeah, they fit, man. They fit.
Did
in
you
modern.
have to get the silver?
Yeah,
or
I
did you
have
get
to go
the
silver.
Okay, because I know they sell that one that's like it's a little thicker. There's a little more room to it, but it's not as big as the silver one.
Yeah, so the silver one fit for the last goodbye, but
I like how the silver ones frame the comic even when they're in
Yeah.
the bag on board. I like that.
yeah. So, but I was like, okay, they fit. Okay, so I just got to go to the local comic book store, see which one they have in deck. If not, I'll just get off Amazon and just get ready to go. I already got the Gemini ready to go. So I'm probably gonna have to order some more Gemini, because sales are doing pretty good, man. Sales are
Good. How many have
for
you
a little
sold?
guy.
How'd the campaign do?
Let's check it out.
I've got the link of the campaign in the description too, if you guys want to check it out.
Okay. Yeah. Go check it out. Yeah, we're at 168. With 103, just comics, digital bundle. I did a retail bundle too, for 12 copies for $20. I sold 8 of those, and
Nice.
22 shirt and combo. So 8 plus 22 plus 103. I'm not good at math. I need calculators for that, but so yeah, that that added up is So last time I checked, it was like 200 or something.
So you're currently are you fulfilling right now, or are you gonna gear up for fulfillment?
The big print goes in Friday. I'll put the order in.
Okay.
But yeah, once that comes back, it's fulfillment. Everything else is on deck. I'm just waiting for that to come in. I was really waiting on the proof to look at it, see what it is, and I wanted to check out paper stock, and can I? Does it do the justice, or does it not do the justice? And
Now, are
so
you
far it
printing
looks
these? It's a big print run. Are you printing them digitally on demand, or are you printing like offset, that kind of a thing?
Offset. I'm going to mix
Okay,
them.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, mix them is they've been good with me in the past. So
I was gonna say, if
expect
you're
that.
doing 3,000 printing digitally, you're gonna get murdered on
Oh yeah.
the print cost.
I don't
Holy
even
smokes.
think they'll take that job. They're just automatically like, no, So
Yeah,
yeah, they're like, nah, man, we got to make the plates, man. We got to do the plates, man.
yeah. Anything I recommend, anything over 300, just get an offset run for like 750 or 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
once
it
you
was
start
a-
doing that, forget it.
It was a weird thing of okay, print more plus taxes plus shipping, and figuring out what's the number, and then minus that from well, add that plus the artwork, and then minus that from 5. What are we at? And with that, it's like two like a little like 2 something, So it was all right, man. It's been all right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's something too where I think it's for those who really haven't done it before. I've seen a lot of people just go, and it's the same thing that happens with like international shipping or just even regular shipping in general. They go, well, it must be this, and they come up with the figure before they go, and they're like,
Yeah.
I see other people set goals at like this on their campaign. They sell it for that price on their campaign. They're basing so much off of what other people are doing on their campaigns, but they're not doing their due diligence to actually talk to printers or look up print costs or look at how much shipping is going to be or look at how much maybe getting packing materials like boxes or stay flats or Gemini mailers or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
how much that's going to be. And then so they set these goals or whatever it is, and then it's sticker shock all over the place left and right when they go, oh wait,
Yeah.
this is way more expensive than I thought it
Yeah.
was going to be. And yeah, so look up that stuff first, talk to printers, even do a quick Google search, even if you're doing the whole offset printing kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then talk to them about contact the printer, talk to them about the size of the book, get paper stock samples, whatever it may be. Sometimes you'll find that maybe you can get something cheaper with a printer who's not out there specializing in comics, but they still print beautifully anyway, and they could maybe get you a really good cost. And that's something as well that once you do it for long enough, you figure that out. But it takes time.
I learned that lesson with Indiegogo, because I was like, I need this to make it. This covers the colorist and and printing and then so I had that plus shipping, but I was like, wait a minute, this was the goal, but hold up, they're adding shipping to the goal, but no, I needed the goal just for that. But and so people were like, yeah, you funded. I was like, yeah, I didn't, because I didn't realize that they're gonna add shipping in, and but I mean, hey man, it's live and learn, man.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Kickstarter does it too. I don't know why they all add in shipping.
I think it's the excitement. It's
They
like,
should-
hey
they
man,
really
we
shouldn't.
combine this. He made this, so it's proven. Look at they got sales. It must be good. It's people like success. And I think there's security in it too. Oh, look at, he raised all this money, or he's almost there. Let's get him there. Like the quicker they can get you to the goal, then it kind of builds confidence within the customers. I think it's like a psychological game. They probably something along.
Yeah,
that,
I mean,
you know?
you'd get the same effect though if they didn't add in the shipping. I mean, especially if, let's say, all your backers. I know
True.
this is an unlikely scenario. All your backers were international, overseas, Canada, etc. Man, if they just count that in there, you're talking about it sometimes $40 to $50 in shipping on some of these things, and it's gonna be this big bloated like, oh yeah, look, we hit our whatever. Let's say it's a $2,000 goal. Oh, we hit the $2,000 goal, but you only really made like $600 or $700
Yeah.
because all the rest of it's been bloated with shipping. You still gotta sell so much more, and then if you try to explain that, that's gonna look odd to people. I really wish they wouldn't add the shipping towards the goals, but
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah. I wish, or at least give you the option.
yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah, that's true too. And you could have two things, show it with the shipping, hit a tab or whatever, and the backer can see with or without, or if the campaign manager wants to reveal it that way. When we have, because we have the Alterna site and then we have Indiegogo, And when we put them on the Alterna site, I don't calculate. I got to do it all manually. I don't calculate shipping into what's raised via the Alterna site. Just whatever is purchased in terms of product goes on there. So on that level, I can at least control that. But on the Indiegogo side of it, it's everything, shipping and whatever. So, but yeah, it's an interesting thing. Let's see. Paul says, speaking of crowdfunding and RPGs, Pete said the magic words: offset, print run. Night and day difference between the quality of offset and print on demand books. Totally. Even within print on demand, I don't know if anybody's gotten it, but you can feel the ink because it's raised. It never really soaks into the paper stock. So it almost has got like a texture to it, especially the black, because a lot of the time people will go to print and it'll be a 4-color black and not just one, not just pure black. And you can feel the lettering, you can feel the line work, all that kind of stuff. It's slightly raised, and there's always a sheen to it.
You think gloss helps with?
Gloss really doesn't. Gloss does like the absolute opposite of helping in that scenario. Yeah, gloss.
I
just
swear it's
in
a
general.
gamble, huh?
Yeah.
Because like I got this, but that's digital, of course. They're not gonna.
Yeah.
offset.
It's great for proofs and things like that, and it's great if you got to do it. I mean, I absolutely recommend it. I'm not gonna say anyone shouldn't. You can make some really nice looking books on digital, but you're gonna. That's an easy way to tell the difference. You can kind of feel it. The offset, the ink, the way it's pressed on, is different than the process of kind of like basically being ink jetted in a way onto the paper itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you and there's nothing better than when you're a creator and once you're able to bump up to the offset level or anything like that, it really feels like, man, this is like the next step. This is great.
Yeah.
Logan says, I didn't want my backers to wait too long on my first campaign, so I just picked a printer and placed an order. I'll shop around a little more for the second issue. Well, there you go. I mean, that's the thing. This whole thing is a learning experience, man. I mean, and not just this. Life is a learning experience, but this whole process of making this stuff, there's no. You can watch all these videos. You can listen to all the conversations. Until you start doing it and living it, you're not even aware of the 20 to 100 different things that come up that no one's going to talk about or knew about or
so
specific
much stuff
to
goes
you.
wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot of different
things. There's so much variables that
Yeah. You're like, I just wanted to make comics. I didn't want to try to put out all these different problems and figure them out all the time. Well, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
There's always a problem to solve.
Yeah, problem solving, adapting, and then learning to. You're not going to get it, and finding out what hills to die on.
All of them, right?
Learned,
don't pick your battles. Just run around having battles about everything.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
I've learned that. I'm working on it, Pete. I'm working on it.
Yeah, everything takes time. Everything takes time.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But Richard, before we wrap everything up here, is there anything else you'd like to let the folks at home know? And also, don't forget to point them where to find you too.
Just find me on Twitter, Richard EMBREE, at Richard EMBREE. The comic is on Fund My Comic. Shout out to Luke. Have an amazing site. Other than that, man, back indie, man, back Alterna, back something on Fund My Comic. A lot of creators out there. Even if you go to the site, you don't want to buy my stuff. Buy someone's stuff, man. There's people out there really putting in hard work and they're trying to figure it out. And they got great stories to tell, man. If you're not satisfied with what you're finding in the mainstream, or you want more than what you're finding in the mainstream, man, there's tons of creators that are just dying to entertain you. Whatever genre you're seeking, they're there. So,
absolutely,
yeah.
And
thank
Paul,
you, Pete. Thank you for having me on.
No problem. Thank you for being here. Paul says order goes in this Friday. Should we hustle on over to Fund My Comic ASAP?
It would help me, but you know what? It's gonna be $5 after, and I know times are hard, bro. You know what I mean? So if you got to give it after the weekend or a week later or 2 weeks from now, hey man, I appreciate your business anytime it comes in. If you're enjoying it, so.
There you go.
Terrible business. I should have said now. Push demanding now. Urgency.
Well,
Everything must go.
See, it's tough when you tell them how big the print run's going to be, and then you tell them like 100-something copies are sold, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll sit back for a second."
Yeah, I should have had more. We're closing the campaign. You're gonna miss out on all the knickknacks. I think I'm gonna do that next time. But like I said, I gotta get people to like the comic before I can start doing fun stuff with the comic.
I agree. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. It really is.
I'm not. No one knows me, so I need to make sure they know the comic and they like the comic, and then hopefully I rather introduce them to my characters than me. But it's Twitter. So they kind of got to get to know you to even know your characters. So,
and that's the thing. The characters are so important. You can have what sounds like a cool plot, even though almost all of them have been done multiple times over. But your characters, even if a character feels familiar, they're always going to be somewhat different. And then if you've got characters and they're interacting among other characters and there's different personalities there, you can really craft something unique within a plot that feels like the framework, at least, is very familiar. But if you don't like those characters, if you don't want to spend time with those characters, doesn't matter how good that plot is.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, you'll despise the plot. Well, you'll get distracted from the plot, from your hatred from the characters. So that's how I see it,
Exactly. And let the plot. I love it when the plot and the story unfold because of what the characters are doing, as opposed to the plot imposing its will upon the characters and the characters seemingly just moving around like they're being controlled, like they're being written to do whatever it is they're supposed to do.
The best example of this is you ever have a good job but you quit because your coworkers are assholes. It's like, I loved my job, I just quit because the people. That's a book with a great plot and horrible characters. Like, the money doesn't matter. I just need to get away from these people. Like, that's how I see it, So
yeah, that's a good analogy. You went almost the whole show too without dropping a curse.
Now I got it back. I'm sorry. I forgot where I was. We were talking. I'm sorry.
Well, that just means that I gotta do this to you.
I deserve that, Pete. Now, this is how you get backers too. You guilt them into cussing because you did lay out the rules. It's a family show, and here I am. But you know what? It was triggering.
So close.
It was triggering me because
seconds to go.
I was thinking of that, like, oh man, I quit jobs because I hated my coworkers. You know what I mean? So it's like that's the.
Well, the same thing happens conversely when you hate the job, and you just don't care anymore. And there's a lot of people out there that hate their comic book job, and are taking it out on everyone, all the time.
Yeah.
And life's too short. Do something that makes you happy. Do something that's bringing you joy. And especially when it comes to comic books and creating art and creating whatever it is you're doing, especially when it's independent. You're the one that's a driving force behind it.
Yeah, no one's telling you what to do. No one is telling you. No one's in your way.
It shouldn't make you miserable.
Yeah.
It should make you filled with unbelievable amounts of happiness. Even when things are going bad, they're going good.
Yeah, because it's progress, Oh, man, I got this problem, but I still got this. I got to worry about
Count
shipping
your blessings.
now. I got to worry about this, but in a way, I get to worry about that. It's like the positive spin. I get to print this comic book. I get to ship it out. I get to receive the feedback.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted. So that's I get to print issue 2.
Exactly. It's all about the attitude. It's all about how you view. That's the only thing that you truly own is your thoughts for the time being. That's the only thing. No one can take your thoughts away from you and tell you to think something you don't want to think. So if you want to be in a bad mood and hate your comic and hate what you're doing and be upset about it all the time, and then that's what you're going to do. No one is telling you to do that. But you can put a spin on it in a positive way and have a good attitude about it. There's always a different way to look at it.
Definitely.
But
definitely.
Anyway, man, Richard, thank you so much for being on. Really appreciate
Pleasure,
it.
man.
Everybody
Honor.
in the chat, thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate you guys as well. All the best. And one more time, Richard, before you go, where can they find you?
You can find me on X, Twitter, Richard EMBREE. At hashtag at Richard EMBREE. You can also Forest Pub on YouTube. I try to do interviews and talk shop with creatives as well. Fun time over there. And then after that, man, just catch me on Fund My Comic, Blood and the Sword, going for $5, and digital too. I got to take care of my guys overseas that don't want to pay those crazy prices for shipping. If you don't want to get it for shipping, that option's there. I believe in giving people options, but digital will be available there. Oh, Vince is there. Hey, what's up, Vince? That's my editor.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Check the replay, Vince. I believe I did well until I cursed.
Check the replay. Let us know
Vince,
how we did.
We gotta buy Artura books because I cussed and you didn't edit me. So there's two for you, Pete. Vince.
Yeah, go to alternacomics.com. Check us out. Get some great books on there.
Yeah.
We got a new campaign.
I was gonna buy it anyway, Pete.
Get King Cryptid if you haven't gotten King Cryptid yet. 1 through 4 are on there. 5 to 9 are funding right now. Lots of good stuff. Too much good stuff on Alterna, some may say. I would never say that, but some people do.
I would say. Yep.
Too much good stuff. I have to curb it. Relax.
Nah, or just enough. I don't know.
Get
Too
some
much
out.
is that could be a negative. So it's just enough.
You heard it here. Because of Richard, I'm going to cut the publishing line in half. You're all fired.
Who am I? No. You the
You
grand
said we have
publisher.
too much good stuff.
Yeah. No, you know what? You do have too much good stuff for one time. You got to come back next paycheck and get the rest of it. That's what it is. That's what we're running with.
All right.
I just need to believe in the pitch before I pitch it. That's what it is.
Okay. Good. All right. Yeah. Thank you, AL. Yeah, no such thing as too much of a good thing. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you. I agree.
I can't argue with the chat.
Everybody, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you guys in the chat and your comments. Richard, thank you as well for your time.
Awesome.
Appreciate you as well. And everyone, go check out not the Blood and the Sword, just Blood and the Sword.
If there is the Blood in the Sword, tell me because we're gonna sue him. Me and Pete, we're gonna get a lawyer.
Hey, that's your thing.
No, I'm playing.
That's your thing.
But his chat got it.
Check out Blood and the Sword on Fund My Comic. And also the link to get to both that on Fund My Comic and to subscribe to Richard on YouTube. Both of those are in the description of the show. Otherwise, I'll see you guys. I got an early show tomorrow, 1 o'clock. I'm going to have a guest on. Let me see. Man, I'm going to butcher her name. I believe it's Anna Folkenstall. She has a comic called Ghost, but it's GHO57. We're going to talk to her. I'm going to talk to her tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern. She's over, I think, in somewhere in Europe. It's a big place somewhere in Europe.
I've heard. I've only shipped there.
But we'll be back here tomorrow. Early show. Hope to see you guys then. Everybody have a great night and an even better tomorrow. Check you guys out soon. Take it easy.